Welcome, masterminds! So you have just picked which evil genius you are going to take to world domination, and now you have to choose the island that you are going to base your evil lair out of. But what is the difference between any of these islands, and how can you pick the one that is just right for you? Well, let's get into it, starting with Caine Key. So when you are evaluating your lair, you want to go to the details page. The gallery here is just more images, and the overview is the nice panoramas of the lovely graphics and a little bit of flavor text. So over here on the details, you get to preview the game map. This is the most important thing to look at. You also have the details of the initial diggable area. So this is how much of the easy type of rock to dig you have without getting any upgrades, and then the total amount of space given in the base. These are not super important because they are all spacious enough to be able to hold your key buildings, but they are still good to know in case you are wanting to build a super large base, or if you know that you're going to be constrained in a certain way. So here we have a map that is set up as a donut. You have the cutout of the helipad right here. The path from the helipad to your base is very short. That's pretty convenient for being able to get minions onto the helicopter and being able to get supplies out of the depot, which is right underneath it on all of the maps. As you ascend in floors, you get smaller and smaller space around this donut, and then down in the basement you have a fairly large open squarish area. So the constraints here are that you have to build around the cutout, and that means that you kind of end up fragmenting your rooms in spaces off along the path. There's not very good space for a large single room that is going to consolidate all the resources that you want of that room type. You're probably going to end up splitting them so that you're going to have multiples of the different room types. You do have plenty of space to extend the casino if you enjoy doing that, and you also have this cool way to build where you can go around and have two entrances off of the casino, which is pretty cool. As you get into the higher floors, you're even more constrained because these are getting smaller, and so planning corridors and rooms out here I think is going to be pretty difficult to get meaningful spaces out. You're going to be stuck with some really awkward walls and whatnot as you go up, but then the basement is nice and open. If we jump over to Montana's Gemelas, we have a base that is uniquely set up as two fragments of island. You have this channel of water in the center instead of just the cutout for the helipad. So if we go up to the top here, this is the entrance area. You have the casino right here, which is pretty constrained. You're not going to be able to extend the casino at all with this setup. You have your helipad over here, and then you have your setup with your two initial sections of the base. And then it is actually inverted as you descend in floors. So this smaller area, the lower floors get larger, and what was the larger area here on the right is going to get smaller as you continue down. And that is what you got, and then down to the basement you again have a fairly large open area. So here the game advertises a very defensible choke point, this path right here, this corridor. You can just load crazy with traps and build your armory over here so that your guards are just focused right here, and then try and put your more sensitive rooms on lower floors where hopefully no agents are able to infiltrate. So that is kind of the advantage here, and the disadvantage is that you do not have very much space on any one floor for very large rooms. You're going to have to be very space conscious, and you're also going to have to plan out carefully what you're putting on different floors, because you don't want minions to have to be marching from one section of the base and then up and across and down to be able to get to a room to fulfill any needs they have. You're going to lose so much time in travel there, and time is money. So finally, as we flip over to Crown Gold here in the North Atlantic, we have a wide open area here. You do have opportunity to extend the casino if you want. The downside here is that the helipad is way off here on the corner. It's even off this image, but it is over there. And so it takes minions a little while to march in and out, and then also be able to get supplies if you're running them deep into the base. But that is not the most important thing in the game. What is really attractive here is the wide open area of the lowest level of stone, so you can cut into this without any upgrades and start laying out the framework of your base exactly from your opening moves. You're also going to be able to leave room for expansion in the rooms that you know are going to end up needing to be larger. You have a fairly large section of stone that can be cut into once you get the first upgrade. And then here, as you go up in floors, you get pretty significantly smaller, but this next floor is also pretty wide open. These final floors get small and tight, so you're not going to be able to fit very much there. And then the basement is pretty large, but it's also the highest level of stone to be able to go anywhere. So you're going to have to wait for a lot of upgrades before you can tap into all these gold veins. So it does advertise all these underground gold seams. Well, just know that those are locked off until later in the game. So if you need that shot of money early in the game, do not be counting on this to help you out. So if we were to rank all of these bases, I'm going to put, Montanas Gemelas at the bottom. It is just it's too restricting in my opinion. You can't extend the casino at all, and then you are locked into pretty small areas on every single floor. And flipping between floors is just slow and awkward enough. I like to be able to see as much of my base on a single floor as possible. So even though it has this really cool defensible corridor that you could trap a ton to just stall all agents right up here, I'm going to put this one at the bottom. Next, I would rank Caine Key. Having the donut setup here is pretty cool, and it has a really large total area of space, but because it is set up as this donut, there are some pretty narrow sections that it's hard to get good room placement out of, and you're going to end up with a lot of walls that are kind of wonky running along the edge here, that are going to be hard to place furniture alongside or make the maximum use out of that space. And as you go up in floors, this issue just gets more and more acute because you have a narrower and narrower donut, so fitting a corridor and rooms in here is going to be harder and harder. The basement, I think, is probably one of the best basements because it's this easy type of stone to get to, so you can quickly extend to the lower floor, and being able to get some of that gold can give you a nice shot in the arm. And then for the very best base, I am going to rank Crown Gold at the very top here. This opening, spacious area is just so easy to plan your base around. You have the luxury of being able to leave rooms with space to expand off on the side, and then this next floor is also pretty easy to get to once you get stairs, and if you need extra space to put stuff up here. These final floors are going to be hard to work with, but because the initial ones are so nice and open, this is where the heart of your base is going to be, and it's going to be able to support the majority of your operation. So there you go. Crown Gold, top choice for me. Let me know in the comments which base you end up picking and why. Leave a like and subscribe if this video helped you out in thinking about your base. And if you want to see more Evil Genius 2 content from me, I am loving this game and I'm going to be putting out a bunch more videos about it. Thank you guys for watching and have a good one.